Xplained Daily family, close your eyes for a second. It's November 1964. A little boy in Denver, Colorado, just 11 years old, is riding home from a football weekend with his family. Life feels safe. Dad is driving. Mom is laughing. And then, in a single moment, everything changes. If you're over 45, 55, maybe even 65, you already know how one moment can quietly shape an entire lifetime. For Timothy Allen Dick, the boy we'd later know as Tim Allen, that moment became the invisible force behind some of the most unforgettable TV fathers America ever had. This is the emotional true story of how a fatherless boy became the dad so many of us grew up with. You recently saw the reunion hug with Caitlin Dever. The moment Tim's TV daughter surprised him, and he couldn't hold back the tears. People saw a sweet reunion, but that hug carried far more weight than most viewers realized. Because every father-daughter scene Tim Allen ever played carried the echo of the dad he lost when he was just 11 years old. This is the story behind the grunts, behind the tools, behind the heart. Tim was born Timothy Allen Dick on June 13, 1953, in Denver, Colorado. He was the third of 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl. His father, Gerald Dick, worked in real estate. His mother, Martha, was a community worker. They were a middle-class, all-American family. Football games, church on Sundays, neighborhood barbecues. Tim loved shop class. He liked taking things apart, figuring out how they worked, putting them back together. He wasn't poor. He wasn't shy. He learned early to laugh at being teased about his last name. Life was steady. Life was good, until it wasn't. In November 1964, Tim's family was driving home from a University of Colorado football game. Tim stayed home that day with a babysitter. A drunk driver ran a red light. The crash was head-on. His father, Gerald, died at the scene. Years later, Tim would quietly say, "I didn't go to the game that day, and my dad never came home." That single sentence carried decades of survivor's guilt. He wondered why he wasn't in the car, why he lived, why his father didn't. He grew angry. At the driver, at God, at the randomness of life. Fall became the season he dreaded. November still makes him quiet. He once described a loss like this. When something like that happens, it changes you down to your cells and DNA. A few years later, Tim's mother remarried her high school sweetheart. The family moved to Birmingham, Michigan, outside Detroit. Suddenly, there were 9 children under one roof. His stepfather brought stability, structure, and consistency. Tim has spoken kindly about him, calling him a good man who stepped in when it mattered. But the hole left by his biological father never fully closed. As a teenager, Tim drifted. He was smart, but unfocused, more interested in engines and parties than homework. He graduated high school, went to Central Michigan University, then transferred to Western Michigan University to study television production. But the anger stayed, and in the late 1970s, it pulled him into dangerous choices. In October 1978, Tim Allen was arrested at Kalamazoo, Battle Creek International Airport with over 1.4 pounds of cocaine. Because the crime involved drug trafficking at an airport, it fell under U.S. federal jurisdiction. He pleaded guilty to federal charges. He was sentenced to 3 to 7 years in prison. He ultimately served about 28 months at the Federal Correctional Institution in Sandstone, Minnesota. Later, he admitted the truth plainly. He was ashamed. He felt broken. He even thought about ending his life. But prison also forced him to grow up. It stripped away excuses. It stripped away denial. When he was released in 1981, Tim made a quiet promise to himself. If he got another chance, he wouldn't waste it. A friend dared him to try stand-up comedy. His first performances in Detroit shocked him. People laughed. Not politely, but genuinely. Comedy became his outlet, his therapy, his survival tool. He moved to Los Angeles, worked relentlessly, bombed sometimes, improved always. And in 1991, everything changed. Home improvement. Tim, the tool man, Taylor entered American living rooms as a loud, clumsy, stubborn dad who grunted more than he talked. But beneath the jokes was something deeper. A man learning as he went. A father who showed up, even when he failed. Tim once said, "I never had a dad past 11, so I became the dad I wished I'd had longer." That line explains everything. Every grunt hid vulnerability. Every tool joke masked lessons learned too early. Later came Last Man Standing. Mike Baxter, Protective, opinionated, soft under the armor. Again, a father trying his best. Off-screen, Tim became a father too. He married Laura Dybel in 1984. Their daughter Catherine was born in 1989. After their divorce, he remarried actress Jane Hajduk in 2006. Their daughter Elizabeth was born in 2009. Today, Tim is sober, reflective, and faith-driven. He's spoken openly about forgiveness, about forgiving the driver who took his father's life. He's spoken about slowing down, about gratitude. At 72, he's a grandfather who fixes toys, tells stories, and understands what truly matters. That's why the reunion hug with Caitlin Dever hit so hard. It wasn't just nostalgia. It was a full-circle moment. A boy who lost his dad at 11 finally became the dad who never left, even if only on television. So tonight, maybe call the dad you still have, or remember the one you lost, or thank the man who stepped in when he didn't have to. Because Tim Allen's story reminds us of something simple and true. The best dads aren't perfect. They're the ones who keep showing up. Grunts, tools, hugs, and all. If this story moved you, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and follow Xplained Daily. I read every comment, and I'll see you in the morning, family.